Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yes. Most of us would like people's attention, isn't it? But not so much if the attention you receive is full of sympathy. I was used to this kind of sympathetic attention from people wherever I went. People would look up at my ungrown hand, cringe for a moment, and then look at me with pity. Poor girl, what will she become? बेचारी, इसे शादी कौन करेगा? अरे भगवान ऐसा किसी के साथ ना करे. I could hear and see these words clearly in their look. Now you would be wondering how a so-called bichari and a so-called poor girl for a society has today transformed into a Paralympian. Let me make you go through this. I was born in Jalandhar in Punjab, and since birth, I'm having an underdeveloped left hand, a so-called disability for a society. As a child, it's very difficult to handle such challenges because you don't know how to react to the society. You don't know what to speak. You don't know how to behave. But as I grew up, I have handled these challenges to my toughest. Well, making me into this, stepping up into this field of para badminton and this world of shuttlers was in a way a blessing for me. I never thought of playing any sports professionally in my life. I would say I didn't choose badminton, rather it chose me. It just came into my life as a blessing. One day in 2016, I was just coming out of a mall with my mother and my brother, and on the way to a car, I met a person. He asked me, "What has happened to your hand?" I was very familiar with such questions because anybody who sees me for the very first time always is very curious to ask what has happened to your hand. I told it's by birth, and then he specifically asked, like, do you know what is para sports? At that very moment, for me, for my mother and for my brother, that word para sports was very new. We have heard for World Championships, we have heard about Commonwealth Games, Olympics, but hearing about para sports was something very surprising for us. Then he specifically told about para badminton and told कि ऐसे से there are sports for disabled, and he told me that I'm very young and if I will start out with the sport, I could do wonders. He just gave this card to my mother and then the topic got closed there in itself. For me, to believe that thing at that very moment was something impossible. Because one side, we're in the society, we're in the locality where I stay, to the parks where I go, to the school, to the children with whom I stay, and I spend the most of my time with. Everybody, everywhere, I have heard that it's not a cup of my tea. Trying anything new, I was always ignored, I was always neglected, and I was always shown the path that I am inferior to others, and I should avoid trying those things. That was the main reason that I never ever dreamt in my life that I could start out with any sports professionally in my life. That was the main reason that I totally ignored the topic. After 8-9 months, there was a handball sports annual function day in my school in which a game handball was newly introduced in my school. I went down with my classmates just for fun and just to know more about the game, what it's all about. And meanwhile, I was just standing in the queue along with my classmates, and my teacher, she called me aside and she told me, "Palak, it's better for you to concentrate in studies. If you will play, you will hurt yourself more. And already you are only having one hand. And if you will hurt, then maybe you won't be able to do anything in life. And moreover, there are some quotas for people with disability, so-called handicap quotas, with help of which you can get a good college and further you can get a good job. And in a way, you can secure your future." Being into an adolescence period of age group, handling such things are the toughest. I didn't know how to react because it was not one, it was not two, it was not three. It was a series of episodes which was happening day by day. And that was the moment when my heart got bursted out. I was depressed, I was disheartened, I didn't knew whom to talk, whom to share, and who can come in my shoes and can realize that thing. I didn't wanted to tell those things to my parents because any which way it will hurt them also. And I didn't wanted to see their eyes red or their eyes full of tears. I never shared anything with them. Out of all these negative things, me crying and just blaming myself, like why God has done this to me, why to me the things have been happening like this, why I have got this part of role to play in my life. I just had one positive thing in my mind, that were the lines of the stranger whom I met outside the mall. The one who has shown me some path that I could do wonders. Out of all the negative things in my life, I had just heard one positive thing, that was I could do wonders in one sport, that was badminton. I decided that day, let me just try out with that sport. Maybe I can handle, maybe I can face the same things again. I had a lot of self-doubts, whether what I'm doing, whether I'm putting myself into the same phase, what will I do, what will I become? But on the other side, the dominance of the positive things, of the positive lines that I could do wonders were more in my mind. So I just thought, let me just try out with the sport. I went back to my home. I told my parents I want to start up with badminton. They were totally surprised. I kept on insisting them, then they took it seriously. And then finally, my mother and my parents, they had lost the contact of the person who met outside the mall. And then my father tried to connect over the social media. We got in touch from one person to another, and then finally I got reconnected to the person. And you know who that stranger was, whom I met outside the mall, and who has today changed my life totally? Any guesses? Anyone over here? Yes, the man is sitting right over here, Mr. Gaurav Khanna, sir. He's the Thank you. Sir is the head national coach of Indian para badminton team and the first and the only Dronacharya awardee of the country for para badminton. Today, I feel I was stupid. I had lost my 9 months of training. But today, again, I feel I got that things valued. What it comes for coming up into the sport, what it comes getting the good and the perfect guidance of becoming who I have become today. But yet, when my father had a talk with sir, he made a plan to come to Lucknow the very next weekend. Lucknow was 100 miles away from my home. And being a 15-year-old, I decided to stay away from my family and to focus on this new goal. On the way to our car, while I was traveling to Lucknow, I was full of excitements, but on my other side of the brain, there was a lot of negativity also. As I told, I had a lot of self-doubts because of my past experiences. But any which way, I thought, let me just try up and I have to prove myself. If I'll do something, maybe I can become a change for the society. And I wanted to go back to the same school to prove myself what I have become. That was the main target that I took on the way. The moment I stepped into Lucknow and I saw my fellow athletes training over there, Pramod Bhaiya, Manoj Bhaiya, Krishna Bhaiya, Suhas Bhaiya, Khel Ratna awardees who have become today, and the Paralympic gold medalists as well. I saw sir training them, and I had goosebumps in my hands and legs. Athletes playing with severe disability, some having polio, some playing on their wheelchair. Seeing them, I was like, if they can do, why cannot I do the same? And there, in that aura of the hall, I could not even see the D alphabet of the disability. They were making fun of each other, they were making laughs and each and everything. And I have never, since then in my life, I have never ever realized I'm somebody called disabled. No, I'm not at all disabled. Because the platform which we have got for training, thankfully to our coach, Gaurav Khanna sir, who has made us believe that we are superhumans. We have never ever felt that there is anything called disability or there is anything called impossible to do for us. Then I started up with my journey in 2017, the moment I reached in Lucknow. I had those experiences of goosebumps and other things. When my first attraction, face-to-face attraction with Sir regarding the training, I started learning how to hold up a grip of a racket. And then I started the journey, the dream that is still going on and will be going on. After that, we started our training. Sir made a plan how the schedule will be go on for the training, as badminton is a sport which requires not only motor abilities, it requires skills, and it requires multiple of things. So Sir made a specific plan for it, and my focus was to follow the same path. Then in 2018, there were nationals in Varanasi. Varanasi is very near to Lucknow, and I was very excited to play those nationals. I had more in my mind to go back to the school and to show the teachers that I have played the nationals and I have won. But unfortunately, Gaurav sir didn't allow me to play those nationals because he was also at his place right, because I started only learning how to hold a racket grip in 17. And he wanted to make me as a national champion, and he wanted to bring me as a surprise for the nation. So he refused me. No, it's not the right time for you to play. I'll tell you when it's the right time for you to play. Just focus upon your training. I felt sad. I told my parents that sir has not allowed me to play, so please, you just talk once to him. But my parents were very clear. What sir will say, we'll follow that. Then I just focused upon my training, and then in 2019, we had our nationals in Rudapur, where I became the national champion of all three categories: junior, girls, singles under 19, women doubles, and women singles as well. I was on cloud 9 because sir had told me only one target, that was to become the national champion, and I had become that. I went to sir with all my trophies and I told that yes, I have attained the target, and that was the first time when I got to know that my target was to qualify for Tokyo Paralympics. And then the journey started, or preparation started for Tokyo Paralympics. Though that target looked, for me, it looked very blur. Because in para badminton, we don't have any age category. We play only in one category, that is women's. I would be competing with athletes who are far higher than in terms of their age, in terms of their maturity, and they have been playing sports since the time I was born. But the preparations were done in such way, and I was made tougher to deal all these challenges. Then I started up with our journey of playing international tournaments, where in 2019, I was nowhere there in the world rankings. I didn't had any rank in the world. And today, I'm world number 8 in women's singles and world number 5 in women doubles. Thank you. Playing the international tournaments was very tough because at that very moment, I was new to the fraternity of international tournaments, and we didn't had any financial support from any of the sponsors coming ahead to support us. Sir made a plan which all tournaments we will be going and which all tournaments we need to drop, because European country tournaments were very expensive. So we dropped a couple of tournaments and we made a plan which all we will be practicing and which all we will doing. And out of 12 international qualification events that were to qualify for Tokyo Paralympics, I managed to play 8 of the tournaments. And starting from 0 world rank to finishing in the top 6 world athletes to qualify for Tokyo Paralympics was a journey that started in Lucknow and is still going on. With this, I became the youngest athlete in the world to qualify for Tokyo Paralympics in all 3 categories: women's singles, women doubles, and mixed doubles. But like the flow, challenges and struggles never lose you. They go with you along with your path. And then there was another thing, that was COVID. The pandemic was there all around in the world. and everything was shut down. And just seeing the situation in other countries, Sir saw that he already had a vision that lockdown will happen in our country as well. He was in touch with other coaches and other teammates, his fellow mates, his international referees and umpires of other countries. And we made a self-indoor court in our garden where we used to train outdoor. Badminton being an indoor sport is very tough to play outdoor. We practiced in air conditions, we practiced in muddy, in sunlight, and we practiced in each and every situation where it was very tough, so that I can become stronger day by day. I took the bold decision in the whole lockdown where everybody went back to their home to spend time with their family, enjoyed making cakes and dishes with their family, sisters and everywhere. I decided to stay 100 miles away from my family in Lucknow and continue my training. That was, I think, the major thing that has made me more stronger today. Coming up with the tournaments after the pandemic was over, starting with my first tournament in Dubai in 2021, I won my first triple delight, winning a silver in women's singles and 2 bronze medals in women doubles and mixed doubles respectively. And then heading towards the Tokyo Paralympics, a dream for every athlete to qualify for Paralympics, I finished 4th position in mixed doubles at Tokyo Paralympics. I missed the medal by a whisker, 2022, 19, 21. It was just a whisker that I missed the medal, but God has more plans and destiny has more things to go on, so I believe in that, finger crossed. And I just know what to do is to work hard to follow my way of success and to follow the mentorship and the guidance of my coach and of my family. After that, Tokyo Paralympics, I had Uganda tournament and Asian Youth Games, where again, I have managed to bring back triple delights in both the two events. And today, till today, I have won total 13 international tournaments, 13 international medals, which includes 4 gold medals, 4 silver medals, and 5 bronze medals. And these medals are since 2019. And this is just a beginning of my career, just a beginning. My vision, my aim, and my dream is to stand up there in the Paralympic podium along with the Indian national anthem going in the background. So to all the women over here, I would say, never become a bichari in your life. Stand up for who you can become. Everybody is not good in everything, but everybody is good in something. So believe in that something and believe in the uniqueness that you have in yourself. And believe me, you will be on cloud 9. The so-called disability, which has been a reason that I have heard so much of criticism and I have faced so much of sympathy, has today become my super ability, due to which I am standing over here on the red dot, due to which I have got that golden opportunity to see my tricolor there in Tokyo Paralympics. And that is something that has given me a purpose to live in my life. Here is one of the most precious moments of my life, the talk with our Honorable Prime Minister, sir. Just have a look.
और सर देश ही तो सब कुछ है सर, उसके लिए अब इतनी बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है। कहाँ लोग मुझे एक तरफ बोलते थे कि मेरी डिसेबिलिटी के कारण मैं कुछ कर नहीं सकती, आज वही डिसेबिलिटी मेरी एक सुपर एबिलिटी बन गई है, जिससे मेरे को एक गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है अपने देश को इतने हाईएस्ट प्लेटफॉर्म पे सर रिप्रेजेंट करने की। तो सर डेफिनेटली अपना बेस्ट तो देना ही है
और
सर।
इसीलिए तो मैं दिव्यांग शब्द प्रयोग करता हूँ। पलक, आपकी उम्र बहुत छोटी सी है और आपके संकल्प बहुत बड़े हैं। देश के लोगों को भी आपकी इस हिम्मत, आपके अपने लक्ष्य के प्रति समर्पण, ये अपने आप में बड़ा गौरवपूर्ण है। आप परिणामों का दबाव लिए बिना रिजल्ट जो आए सो आए, 100% अपना बेस्ट दीजिए और मुझे विश्वास है कि आप जरूर सफल होगी।
Thank you so much. Thank you.